Hey ladies, how are you guys? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Let me get all the way up here. How are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Hope you guys had an amazing week, and obviously I hope you have an amazing week going forward. So just a really quick small talk. I'm not going to go on and on and on. Excuse me, this morning. For whatever reason, I'm a little tired, which is kind of weird. But anyway, so a little small talk. I will not be doing a video next week. Once again, I will not be doing a video next week. For most of you guys that know, you rock with me, you know that I will do maybe 3 or 4 videos or so, and then I go do a blog because I want to kind of keep with the pattern and the things that I believe God showed me to do early on. And so next week I will be doing a blog post. I will also, I've been invited to do a guest blog interview. And I've been kind of dragging my feet with that. So I'm going to try to do all of that next week. So I'm doing all blog related stuff next week. I'll probably share my personal blog, obviously, and then I'll share the guest blog interview whenever the guy gets it up. He has his own women's empowerment brand as well. And he asked me to be or to do a guest blog interview. And so I'm going to try to do all of that this coming week. So I will not be doing a video next week, just to reiterate. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is the same. I'm going to probably start within the next week or so reaching out to the different ladies that I'm interested in doing the guest blog interview on my site through the Hues of Inspiration segment of the brand. So hopefully in February, late February, early March, I can get the first interview out. And I'm always excited to do those because it gives me an opportunity to highlight and feature some other women where it's not necessarily everything's about my brand. So yeah, I'm excited about that, to get that kind of revamped and regoing. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much the same. The subscribers here are growing little by little, and I am truly thankful. If you feel compelled, please subscribe. Please share information about the brand, the channel. Excuse me. Just share it with your friends or your family. If you feel compelled on this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment below, all that good stuff. I'm saying this on the front end because every time once I get into the message, I totally forget to say all of that stuff. But anyway, that is pretty much it for the small talk, and I just really want to get into the message. So today the message is titled Hidden in Mediocrity. Hidden in Mediocrity. Now, I have this message. You're going to notice I'm going to keep tapping this tablet because one of the things I want to share with you is on this tablet, and I kind of want to keep it up. So just excuse me if I'm constantly tapping this. But anyway, so I've had this message, or the title for this message, for about a week now. And, what's interesting is that as I go through my week and go through the work week, a lot of times I'll have a title and then stuff will happen in life that kind of makes or brings what I've thought about to life, or I can figure out ways to tie it into the title. So that's kind of what happened this past week. So I had kind of an interesting week, not necessarily good or bad, kind of a wacky week, I would call it. Overall, the week was good. I had one day at work that I worked a lot longer. I worked I think an 11-hour day, and then I commute. So I probably was gone maybe 13. I would say maybe about 13 hours. And so that kind of threw things off a little bit. I had a training I had to go to. And so it just made prolong the day. Then I had a situation, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but I had a situation happen that it wasn't necessarily good or bad, but just really made me get before God. I'm always praying and seeking God and trying to become more enlightened and just build a better relationship with Him. But this particular thing that happened just made me just really sit before God and try to figure out what's really and truthfully going on. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that kind of happened throughout the week that kind of sort of tie into this message, because I feel like sometimes we think, and not to say that God is almighty, right? He's powerful. We know this, but I feel like sometimes we look for God to do huge things. We look for God to part the Red Sea or to raise Lazarus from the dead. We look for these big things, like the big fanfare. And oftentimes God is really in the sort of mediocre, mundane things, and we miss Him because we're looking for this big spectacle or this big thing to happen. And that's what I really want to focus on today. I also want to just say really quickly, this has really nothing to do with the message. But I think I told you guys last week, I ran into this guy. I don't know him, in front of Target. I thought he was going to ask me for money. He asked me to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He had the QR code. And I think I was mentioning that that I had been thinking about doing something similar. Not necessarily, I'm not going to get out in front of a Target or any place and ask for people to subscribe to my channel, because that's just not how I get down. But I want to always be prepared, because you never know who you meet. And that was an opportunity. Like, if I had my stuff together, I could have been like, here's my information, but I didn't. And I'm not beating myself up, because it was one of the things I wanted to do this year. So I finally pulled the plug on that. So within the next couple of weeks or so, or a week or so, I should have I already have business cards, but these will be business cards specifically with like the QR code to the YouTube channel. It'll also have like my website, and then all my social media platforms on there. And I don't have my phone number, any personal information. I do have some business cards with that, but this will be specifically for just kind of having them in my, in my bag, or just having them with me, so that any event that something opens up or opportunity, I can just present this to somebody, and I don't have to be concerned about they have my personal information. So I pulled the plug on that, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm just going to be patient and see what doors God opens with regards to that. But I wanted to do it because I felt like when I ran into that guy and then I saw the QR code on the train, I was like, okay, maybe this is God telling me to get ready. And they always say, always be ready, so you don't have to get ready, So that's something I wanted to say really quickly. It has nothing to do with the message, though. So anyway, as I was saying, I had a situation happen. Like I said, I'm not going to go into specifics because it's not that important to dwell on what happened. I think what I really wanted to focus on is what happened when I got into prayer time with God. And so I'm praying, I'm listening to some spiritual music, some worship music. I'm in God's presence. I'm crying out to him to try to figure out, how do I move forward? What's going on? Why is this happening? And so forth and so on. Why did this happen, shall I say? And I probably was doing that for maybe about, if I had to guess, I don't keep track of it, maybe an hour, hour and a half. And then I was like, okay, I didn't have my phone on or anything. I literally, this was just me and God. And so immediately when I was done, I pick up my phone. Okay, let me see what's going on. I haven't, been on the phone for about an hour and a half or so. So I pick up my phone, and on one of my platforms, this guy, I don't know this guy, I ain't never met him. There are people that I've never met that I do consider to be friends or acquaintances through Facebook and through different social media platforms, because I've had enough interaction with them that, they're not friends, but I do kind of feel some sort of connection, because we've connected on some level at some point. This guy, I've never had any interaction with him. But once again, I want to set the stage that I had been in prayer time. Some things had happened, and I was just really in God's presence. I then, maybe about for an hour and a half, I picked up my phone, and then I happened to see this message. So I wanted to have it out so I could kind of, it's nothing major, but this is why I wanted to talk about hidden in mediocrity, because sometimes God will speak through people in the smallest, simplest way, and we're looking for the big, huge spectacle, and that's not always how God works. But this, when I tell you, it blew my mind. And to you, it may not seem like nothing, but trust me, when you're praying, you're crying out to God, and then you pick up your phone and you get this message or this thing from this guy, you're just like, whoa. So anyway, as you guys know, you may not know, when I release a video or when I do anything, I usually put it on most, if not all, of my platforms. I'm getting a little bit better with Instagram. Me and Instagram, I do not totally get Instagram, so I'm kind of getting a little bit better. But I basically share it on every platform. I try to expose as many people and get the information out to as many people as I can. So this is one of the platforms, and I had to put the information out. So this guy, like I said, I've been doing my prayer time, and then I pick up my phone, and immediately this is what I saw. This guy says, continuing my vow to recognize others, please go subscribe to this wonderful YouTube channel. It may just be life-changing for the right person. I was like, what? I don't even know this guy, never met this guy, never interacted with this guy. It was so weird. I was like, whoa. But when you just think about the whole thing that I'm saying, I'm in prayer. I'm crying out to God, trying to figure out, certain things, why certain things happen, blah, 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 blah. And then immediately I pick up my phone and this message pops up. Once again, I'll read it again. He says, continuing my vow to recognize others. Please go to subscribe to this wonderful YouTube channel. It may just be life-changing for the right person. I was like, what? I don't even know this guy. Who, what? I was so blown away. So then I responded to him and I said, wow, because I was blown away. I said, thank you so much. May God continue to bless and keep you, my friend. Then he responds to me and he says, the best blessings come at the most unexpected of times. Just know that there are people out there that want others to succeed. Joint success still equals success. I'll read it again. He said, the best blessings come at the most unexpected of times. Just know that there are people out there that want others to succeed. Joint success still equals success. I was blown away. Now, I think had this happened I probably would have been blown away anyway because I don't know this guy, never interacted with him. And so for him to share my page and to encourage others to subscribe to the channel and to say that it may be something life-changing for the right person blew my mind. And then I thanked him. And then he said the best blessings come at the most unexpected of times. And just know that there are others out there that want other people to succeed. And it was just really interesting. Then he said, joint success still equals success. I personally think in that moment, that was God speaking. God speaks through people. And that's why I really wanted to talk about the fact that it doesn't have to be a huge fanfare. It doesn't have to be a spectacle. God is in the mundane, everyday, mediocre things that we overlook. And oftentimes we don't think that it's God because it's not huge. It's not spectacular. God speaks in the most subtle ways at times. And I believe that was God speaking through that man because, like I said, I have never interacted with this man a day in my life. I don't know him, have never had any interactions with him on social media. I just happened to share a video. He felt compelled to share it with his audience. And then that whole interaction happened. But like I said, when that happens immediately after you've been in prayer, I just can't imagine that was nobody but God. I feel like it was God encouraging me. I feel like it was God letting me know, I got you. I know you don't think I'm here sometimes, but I got you. And a lot of times he will speak through people. And that's why this message is titled Hidden in Mediocrity, because sometimes it's the mediocre, mundane things that we don't think anything about, and we don't recognize that God is still with us every step of the way. Every step of the way. So, one of the things that I think for me personally in 2023, and I'm noticing this already, and we're only, 21 days in. I think last year I was like on the go between my regular secular job and then what I do for the brand. And I am still doing stuff. Don't get it twisted. I'm still doing stuff. But I really feel like there's been a shift. I feel as though 2023 is really going to be about me trusting God. And as I said, sometimes he will reveal himself in the smallest, most mundane, sort of mediocre things. And I think one of the things that he's really been speaking to my heart is learning to trust him. I think I told you guys I have a guy that's going to be kind of helping me out, not major, but just kind of helping out a little bit. And then I have some other doors that have opened up that I think is allowing me, and what I think it is allowing me to do is have a little bit more freedom and a little bit more free time. And it's allowing me to get before God. The other day I didn't work my regular job. And probably the first time in a very long time, I literally sat and just relaxed. And not to say that I don't do that, I do relax. I do relax. But this was different. I didn't feel like I had to do something, or even when I'm doing stuff, I don't feel like it's taking all of my time. I literally can have time, peace, quiet, to sit and read a book or relax or do some things of that nature. But I really think what God is really prompting me to do this year is really, the Bible says faith without works is dead. Now, let me say this. I think the difference between God's system and the world system is that you do the work because that's what you have to do. The Bible says faith without works is dead. But what you do is you do your part and then you allow your faith. Your faith is your currency to trust God to do his part. So I think the difference is, I don't know if you've ever seen a person, you can tell when a person is doing something in their own strength, in their own might, in their own effort. What I'm speaking about is you do your part, you do the work, and then you can relax because the Bible says be anxious for nothing. So you can relax because your faith is your currency. So it's like, okay, God, I did my part. Now I'm trusting you to do your part. And then it takes so much weight off of you. Because one thing about it is, I feel like in the world system, the culture is grind, 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 hustle, 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 which is great. But sometimes I feel like you're doing too much. I feel like with God's system, you do your part and then you trust him to do his part. And I think that's one of the things he's really, really trying to get me to understand this year. I definitely can tell a shift. I'm not working as hard. I am working, but I'm not working as hard. And I can sense that he's saying, do your part and let me do my part. That's honestly what I think he's saying to me in 2023. We've only been, 21 days in, and I definitely can tell there's definitely a shift. What I want to encourage you guys to do as you go forward in your work week or whatever you're going to do this coming week is just try to look for God in the simple things, in the mundane things, in the mediocre things of life. Yes, God can do the miraculous. Absolutely, positively, we see it all the time. But look for God in the simple things. It could be something as simple as, I'm just going to use an example. Let's say you get up and you head out to work and you forgot your wallet. And you're like, man, I don't know, how am I going to get lunch today? Maybe you didn't bring your lunch or whatever. How am I going to get lunch? Or whatever you're going to get. And let's say you go or you go get breakfast and you realize you don't have your wallet or whatever. And somebody, you drive through the drive-through or whatever you get your breakfast, and somebody's paid for your breakfast. Or something is really small, it's simple. But what I'm saying is that I want you to learn that God is oftentimes, he hides himself in the mediocre, mundane things that we overlook. Like I said, with that guy, that was something so simple, but it meant so much. Because like I said, I had been praying, and then automatically this man, like that's the first message I turn on my phone and boop, that's what pops up. That to me, it felt like, God, you heard my prayers. You heard me. I felt as though God was speaking through that guy in that moment. Now, I want to also talk about something else that was interesting. This young lady, we've been kind of corresponding off and on through social media. I did a guest blog post for her, I don't know, maybe a year ago now. And we've kind of kept in touch. She's recently started a new job, so she's not like on social media or whatever as much. And I remember thinking to myself, who, just different people I want to have for my blog interview. And she's one of the people I definitely am going to reach out to. But I was thinking about her maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And literally the other day I came in, it was end of the week. I said, I'm just going to chill, I'm going to relax, watch some movies or whatever. Watch the movies, pick up my phone. Who pops up? This young lady. Haven't seen, heard from her in probably maybe 5 or 6 months, which I get it. She started a new job, so her schedule is probably like not the same. And she pops up. That's what I'm talking about, how God shows up. God, I believe, is saying, I will send you the people. I will send people. You do what you need to do. Don't worry about who likes. Don't worry about who comments. Don't worry about who subscribes. Yes, I mean, you do that because that's the politically correct thing to do. Everybody asks for subscribers. Everybody asks for people to comment. But you don't worry about that. God showed me this week that he is hidden in mediocrity. He shows up in the most mundane things of life, right? This guy pops up after my prayer time. This young lady pops up after I've been thinking about her as somebody that I want to potentially do a blog interview with. She just out of the clear blue pops up. And I was like, oh my God, hey stranger, and so it was like, wow. God was saying, I got you. I got you. I'm still here. Even if you don't think I'm here, I am here with you. And I want you to just think about that as you guys go throughout your week. Just try to find God in simple things. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes you don't have to look for him. He will, if you stay close to him. He says, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. If you stay close to him, you'll recognize him in the smallest, simplest things. Okay, so I want to leave you guys with a couple of Bible stories. They're not like super, 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 super long. A couple of Bible stories. One is where he feeds 5,000. The reason I want to talk about that is because that's something so simple. It's just basically people having a meal. But what made it so special and so miraculous and so beautiful was that he was able to feed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. That was something so simple, something so mundane, something so mediocre, but yet God shows up through his son, Jesus Christ, and does something miraculous by feeding the multitudes of people with little or nothing. The other story I want to talk about really quickly is when Ruth meets Boaz. When Ruth meets Boaz, she is simply gleaning in the field. And what it means to glean is to basically you're going into a recently harvested field. So most everybody got the main crops or whatever was grown there. She's gleaning, which means she's picking up scraps. She's picking up the leftovers. That's the most mundane, most routine, mediocre thing you could be doing. And guess what? She meets Boaz. She meets her king. What I'm saying is that those are two very, and there's plenty of stories in the Bible. Those two are what came to my mind. Those things are very simple. When Jesus fed the multitudes, they were just eating a meal, nothing spectacular. And when Ruth is just simply picking up scraps in the field, she's gleaning in the field. They've gotten the main harvest. She's just trying to get a few of the scraps that's left over. And she meets Boaz, her knight in shining armor. What I want you to do this week is just to try to see God in the simple, mundane things. He's hidden in mediocrity. This week for me, God revealed himself in 2 ways, and it was very simple, very simplistic. But I think every now and then he'll let you know, I'm still here. I got you. I'm right here with you. I haven't left you. He says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. God is saying, if you just trust me, do your part, do the work, because faith without works is dead, and leave the rest up to me. That's what he's saying. As I said, I believe he's saying to me, I'll bring you the people. I'll cause others to not forget you. I'll put you in the memory of people. I'll put what you're doing in their presence, and you allow me to open up the doors for you. As I said, the world system is working on our own strength and our own might. God's system says, yes, do the work, but trust me to carry the load. You do the natural, trust me to do the supernatural. I pray that you will find God hidden in mediocrity, in the everyday, simple, mundane things of life this upcoming week. Always remember that he is with you every step of the way, even when you don't think that he's there. If you draw near to him, he will draw near to you. And in the most unexpected ways, he will show up. And oftentimes he will show out. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this message. As I said before, if you feel compelled, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment down below. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing week. I love you. I love you. I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. Until we meet again, as I said before, I will not be doing a video next week, but I will see you guys the week after. I will be doing a blog post, and I usually post it on the community channel on here, or the tab, shall I say, not channel, community tab here, and on the Facebook group page. So I'll have some interaction with you guys, and I'm going to try to do some motivation. Like I said, I had a long week last week, so I didn't worry with it. This week shouldn't be as crazy. So I'm going to try to do some midweek motivation. So I will be in touch, but I will not be doing a video next week. Until we meet again, I love you, I love you, I love you with the love of Jesus Christ. Katalambano it. Peace out.